James opens his banking app. He smiles. He has done everything right. He saved $1,000 every month for 30 years. He never missed once. His balance reads $694,049. He worked hard for every dollar. He played it safe. Carlos saved the same $1,000 every month. Same 30 years. Same job. Same income. Carlos opens his app. His balance reads $1,490,359. Same money in. More than double the money out. Both men followed one rule without knowing it. The rule decides who builds wealth and who only saves. James saved his whole life. He never built wealth. Carlos did both. The difference was invisible for years. For the first 6 years, you could not tell them apart. Their balances moved almost together. Then one balance broke away. It never came back. Carlos did not work harder. Carlos did not earn more. Carlos knew one number that James did not. That number changed everything for him after he crossed it. James never knew the number existed. The gap between these two men is $796,300, and it all came from one decision they made on day one. I am going to show you the number James never understood. It is your first $100,000. Not because $100,000 is a lot of money. It is not. Because of what happens to your money the moment you cross it. Below $100,000, you do all the work. Your savings carry you. Above $100,000, a switch flips. Your money starts doing the work for you. Most people quit, slow down, or play it safe right before that switch. They never see it turn on. James was one of them. He never saw it. You are about to see exactly where it lives. By the end of this video, you will know the exact balance where it flips. You will know how fast it works and how to reach it. You will never look at your savings the same way again. Welcome to Rigged Numbers, where we expose the financial systems quietly working against you and give you the math to fight back. Subscribe now. The middle of this video has the part that nobody explains. 3 things you will learn today. 1. Why does your first $100,000 take the longest and feel impossible? 2. The exact balance where your money out earns your paycheck. 3. The one safe-sounding move that quietly cost James $796,310. Stay to the end. The final number will change how you save tomorrow. Let me show you how money actually grows. Most people believe wealth grows in a straight line. Save twice as long, get twice as much. That is wrong. Wealth grows on a curve. The curve is flat at the start, then it bends upward. Hard, here is why the curve bends. Your returns earn returns, then those earn more. At $10,000, growth is tiny. At $500,000, growth is large. Same percentage. A much bigger base. 8% of $10,000 is $800. 8% of $500,000 is $40,000. The percentage never changed. The base did. That is the whole secret. Grow the base past $100,000. Carlos is 30 years old. He starts with $0. He invests $1,000 a month into a low-cost index fund. His fund averages 8% a year. James is also 30. He also starts with $0. He saves $1,000 a month too, but James keeps his money in a savings account at 4%. He believes the market is too risky. He chose safety. That choice felt responsible. Watch what happens in year 1. Almost nothing. The gap after 1 year is $230. 2 men. 2 strategies. A $230 difference. This is why people give up. The early years look identical. James feels smart. His safe choice cost him almost nothing. But the curve has not started bending yet. Carlos puts in $12,000 in year 1. His balance grows to $12,450. His money earned $450. That is it. Think about that. A full year of investing earned $450. That is $37 a month. It feels pointless. This is where most people stop. They see tiny returns and decide it does not work. They were right about year 1. They were wrong about year 10. The flat part of the curve fools everyone. It is supposed to. That is why so few cross it. In year 1, Carlos does almost all the work. The market barely shows up. This is the hardest stage, the flat part of the curve. By year 5, Carlos has invested $60,000 of his own money. His balance is $73,477. James has also invested $60,000. His balance is $66,299. Now the gap is $7,178. It grew from $230 to $7,178 in 4 years. The curve is starting to bend. Slowly, most people quit before this point. They never see the bend. Carlos does not check his balance every day. He sees the $7,178 gap and stays patient. He trusts the average, not the month. James checks his savings and feels reassured. His balance only goes up. It never scares him. That comfort is the trap closing around him. Here is the number that matters. Carlos crosses $100,000 in year 6. The first $100,000 took him 6.5 years. That is the wall almost nobody talks about. It is slow. It is boring. It tests your patience. Carlos almost quit twice. He did not. He kept the deposit running while life happened. Now watch this carefully. This is the part nobody shows you. At a $100,000 balance, an 8% return is $8,000 a year. Carlos contributes $12,000 a year. His money now earns most of that. His money is catching up to his paycheck. Then comes the exact tipping point. At a balance of $150,000, the math flips. At 8%, a $150,000 balance earns $12,000 a year. That equals Carlos's entire yearly contribution. Read that again. At $150,000, his money out earns his savings. For the first time, the market does more work than Carlos does. This is the switch. This is what your first $100,000 unlocks. You do not feel it at $1,000. You do not feel it at $50,000. You feel it just after $100,000. Then, it never stops. Let me give you the cleanest way to see this. Below $100,000, your savings are the engine. Above $150,000, your returns are the engine. The crossing happens in that narrow band between them. Your first $100,000 buys a ticket into that band. Nothing you do before it feels like much, everything you do after it compounds. James never reaches this flip in any meaningful way. His 4% account is too slow. His money never outworks him. At $100,000, his savings earn $4,000 a year. He keeps doing all the work himself. Forever, by year 10, Carlos has $182,946. James has now $35,690.50. It went from $230 to $7,178 to $35,696. Look at those three numbers again. Then $7,178. Then $35,696. The gap multiplied by 30, then by 5. Same two men. Same monthly deposit, only the curve changed. Notice the pattern. The gap is not growing in a straight line. It is accelerating. Each year adds more than the last. That is compounding. That is the curve bending upward. And it only turns violent after the first $100,000. By year 20, Carlos has $589,020. His money now earns $47,000 a year on its own. That is almost 4 times what he puts in. Carlos contributes $12,000. His balance adds $47,000 without him. James has $366,775 by year 20. His safe 4% account earns him $14,600 a year. He is still mostly carrying himself. By year 20, Carlos stopped carrying his own balance. His money carries him now. He could stop adding $1,000 and still grow. James cannot. James must keep working the whole way. That is the difference between the two machines. This is the system most people never understand. The first $100,000 is a wall. It is slow and discouraging. But it is the entry fee to a different machine. Cross it, and your money starts replacing your effort. James paid into a machine that never turned on. Carlos paid into one that did. Stop right there. You have been taught that playing it safe is the smart move. Keep your money where you cannot lose it. Protect what you built. That advice sounds responsible. It is quietly destroying you. Let me destroy a belief you hold right now. You believe safety means avoiding risk. The real risk is staying too safe for too long. James was not careless. James was cautious. He kept his money in a 4% savings account on purpose. Everyone told him the market was a gamble. He listened. He did exactly what responsible people are told to do. Every year, James felt safe. His balance never dropped. He never had a bad year. He never lost a dollar on paper. That feeling cost him $796,310. Here is the trap. Safety hides a second cost. It is the cost of growth you never captured. James did not lose money. He lost the curve. He stayed on the flat line his entire life. James earned 4% for 30 years. It felt safe. Carlos earned 8%, double the rate. But the outcome was not double. It was more than double. A small rate gap becomes a giant balance gap over time. That is the hidden cost of safety. It hides in plain sight. Now watch Carlos do the opposite. Carlos felt fear too. Markets dropped 20% in some years. His balance fell on paper. He did not move his money. He knew the average. He stayed in the index fund. He let the bad years pass. He kept buying through them. Here is the part that breaks people's brains. The market falls about 1 year in 4. Most people sell during those years. They run to safety. They lock in the loss and miss the recovery. Here is a number that proves it. Miss the 10 best market days over 20 years. Your total return roughly cuts in half. The best days often come right after the worst days. Sell to feel safe, and you miss the rebound. James never sold, because James never invested. He missed every good day on purpose. This is the exact mistake James made for 30 years. He treated short-term safety as long-term wisdom. He was confused, not losing or winning. There is a second version of this same trap. Many people reach $100,000 and feel they have made it. They slow down. They pull money out. They protect the pile. They de-risk at the exact moment the machine turns on. This is the cruelest part of the system. People quit right before the reward arrives. $100,000 is not the finish line. It is the starting line. The flat years are the price. The curve is the payoff. Quit at $100,000 and you paid the price for nothing. Picture climbing a hill for 6 years. You reach the top, exhausted, the easy downhill begins. Then you turn around and walk back down. That is what quitting at $100,000 looks like. You paid for the climb and skipped the reward. Carlos rode that downhill for 24 years. Those 24 years built most of his $1,490,359. The first $100,000 built only the foundation. The rest was the machine running on its own. That is why the first $100,000 is the hardest. Carlos understood this. He never treated $100,000 as done. He saw it as the engine finally starting. He kept feeding it. He let it run for decades. If you have ever moved money to safety to feel calm, listen, you may have been doing this wrong your entire life. Safety feels good today. It is expensive tomorrow. The flat line feels responsible. It is the most costly choice there is. Here is the exact protocol to reach the flip. Follow these 5 steps in order. Do not skip step 3. Step 1. Automate the deposit. Set $1,000 a month to move on the first automatically. Manual investing fails. Automatic investing reaches $100,000. If $1,000 is too high, start at $300. The mechanic is identical. Step 2. Choose a low-cost total market index fund. Target an expense ratio under 0.10%. A 1% fee can cost you $200,000 over 30 years. Set your return expectation at 7 to 8%, not more. Do not chase 15% returns. Those promises are how people lose money. Boring and steady beats exciting and risky. The index fund is boring on purpose. Step 3. Reinvest every dividend automatically. Turn on automatic reinvestment in your account settings. A reinvested dividend buys more shares. Those shares pay more dividends. This is the engine inside the engine. Never take dividends as cash early. Step 4. Never interrupt the base. Do not move your balance to safety to lock in gains. Every interruption resets the curve back toward flat. Here is the warning. This strategy can backfire one way. Never put money you need within 5 years into the market. If you must sell during a 30% drop, you lock in the loss. Keep a separate emergency fund of $15,000 in cash. That cash is your safety. Your index fund is your growth. Keep them apart. Step 5. Raise contributions, never lower them. When you get a raise, add $100 a month to the deposit. Increase it. Never decrease it. Never pause it. A pause of 1 year can cost you $40,000 by retirement. The deposit is small, its absence is not. Do these 5 things, and you reach $100,000 in about 6 years. Then the machine takes over. Your job is not to touch it. Objection 1. 8% is not guaranteed. The market could crash. True, no single year is guaranteed. But the market averaged about 10% a year over the last 90 years. We used 8% to stay conservative. Over 20 years, the average wins. There has never been a 20-year period that lost money. Not once in market history. Time removes the risk. Objection 2. I cannot afford $1,000 a month. Then start with $300 a month. The math does not change. At 8%, $300 a month becomes $447,000 in 30 years. The amount sets the size, the curve still bends the same way. Objection 3. I am already 40, it is too late for me, you still have time before the flip. $1,000 a month at 8% becomes $589,000 in 20 years. You will cross $100,000 in year 6, the same as everyone. Start now. Let us return to Carlos and James. Same income. Same $1,000 a month. Same 30 years. James played it safe and ended with $694,049. Carlos crossed his first $100,000 and ended with $1,490,859. The gap is $796,310. That gap is one decision. Repeated, you are not James. Not anymore. You now know the number that James never understood. You are no longer the person the system works against. You are the person who knows where the switch is. Tell me in the comments. What is your first $100,000 deadline? Write the year you will cross it. We hold you to it. Subscribe to For the Math They Never Show You. The first $100,000 is a wall. Climb it once, and your money never works for someone else again.